Last time, we made a start on our Nether Highways, and made some TNT Cannons, but more importantly, we came across a warm ocean, which meant we were able to finally come across some coral. Which is grand, because they are exactly what was required for us to start making some more complicated farms, and that's exactly what we're going to concentrate on today. We're going to set up some more farms. And I'm thinking for the very first farm, we're going to make an automatic cobblestone one. So as always, I will start by gathering the supplies we're going to need to make it. Which after we grab some ice from here, that then looks like all the items we're going to require. So let's get started. So first things first, we have to build a platform 6 blocks high, and then make the platform into a 13 by 13 square. And that doesn't look too bad. So the next step is to put in some glass corners, and then put water in all of the corners that will flood towards the centre. And eventually, we end up with this swimming pool. So next we create another platform, and then we add some pistons to the platform. And now we add some stone that will be used to create the cobblestone. Some stone and piston work later, we end up with this. Time for the redstone, which doesn't look too complicated so far. Next we add water to all of the levels, and now time for another platform. And this platform is going to be the foundations for our TNT Duplicator. So to begin with, we need to make our favourite Redstone Clock, which apparently looks like that. I have no idea what the hell I've just built. So now we have the very fun easy task of just replicating this there, or there. But actually, now that that last block is in, that didn't take nearly as long as I thought it would. So now the complicated part. I have to make the TNT Duplicator. And this is already starting to look stupidly complicated. And here comes the bad bit. I need to put this TNT on top of the oak fence. Oh, okay, that actually wasn't too bad. Oh no, I take it back. Now I need to get on top of the TNT and do something with slime. And we are now at the part where the coral comes into play, of which I first need to place it down on this dirt and just slowly watch it dry out and die. And we then stick it onto the end of this slime block, and that is the magic item that is going to be able to let us duplicate this TNT. Don't know how, but we needed it for this reason, so cool. And one minecart set up later, that is the TNT Duplicator for this complete. So we do some final redstone touches, and then we prepare the area that the lava will travel through. I swear it always rains whenever I'm trying to do one of these big projects. Well, I'm hoping the rain won't affect this, but we now get our lava, and we place it on this block here, and just let it slowly trickle all the way down, without burning ourselves. Maybe it is a good job it's raining. And now that the temporary dirt blocks are gone, the lava flows down easily, and we have got some nice stone underneath. So, same again on the other side. And now this side should be complete as well. So that's both of them now filled with lava. Well, now that everything up top is looking not too bad, we need to go down below, kill these mobs, and start our storage system. That is an awful lot of storage. But after we place in our ice and our water sources, this should now be the farm pretty much done then, I believe. Well, it's certainly looking interesting, I've got to admit. I'm not really sure how this is all going to work, but I'm assuming that stone is going to get pushed into the centre, and then the TNT is going to drop, explode, and then it comes down into our hopper system. Oh, for God's sake, I've just noticed them over there. Well, I reckon I've probably done something wrong with this build, but without further ado, we'll turn it on and see what happens. Well, I can see the stone come into the middle, and our TNT is certainly being duplicated up the top, which is lovely. I do like the sound of infinite TNT. I've got to admit, so far so good. Nothing is broken, and this does seem to be going pretty nicely. Let's head down and see how much we've made already. So I'm not sure which chest this is going to go into. I'm assuming possibly one of these ones. Ah, yes, we've actually got quite a lot of cobblestone here already. Damn. They are coming down here at some rate as well actually, which is nice. My only problem is now having enough coal to be able to smelt these into actual stone and then back into stone bricks. But that's a problem to solve for another day. Okay, at night this actually looks stupidly cool as well, I've got to admit. I really like this. Well, I thought I may have had a problem with smelting this stuff actually, but I've also just remembered that I can get a lot of wood very easily. Because I can take the logs that they give us, turn them into planks, and thanks to a data pack, I actually make a lot more slabs from those planks than I would normally, and I can put all of those slabs straight into my fueling chest for my super smelter. And it's not the best fuel source, but it will do just now until I can find something better to do. Well, let's go get some cobblestone in and start smelting it down. Yep, we've definitely gotten a few more pieces of cobblestone since last we looked, so I'm going to grab all of these. This is definitely going to help me make these nether highways. So I will stick all of my cobblestone into this chest and it will go down and be now smelted into them. And I think in the meantime I better go plant some more trees. And at least I've got plenty of saplings to do so. You were a bit keen, not wanting to wait in the rest of them. Well, with stone bricks now not going to be too much of a hassle, the next thing I maybe need to think about is getting some more carpet down. And yes, this is just to prevent any mobs spawning inside the tunnel. And yes, I could also just use slabs for this, but I actually quite like the carpet. But I think that's going to be my next farm project. That was a big one to do. Maybe let's do a smaller one and just do a sheep shearing one. I actually came back to my cobblestone farm very quickly just to grab the chest so I can start making more supplies. And I did think there was a few cobblestones in here. However, I didn't think about to check the one beside it. Or the one beside that. Or the one beside that. Or the one beside that. All the way up to the end. Oh my god, this thing is a monster. I'm actually going to maybe need to turn this off because there is no way I'm going to be able to smelt all of this cobblestone down and use it anytime soon. Holy crap. Anyway, onto sheep. So these little sheep pods are actually very small, but they're very effective in what they do. And the redstone circuitry that goes alongside these things are incredibly simple, again in comparison to that big beast over there. Because after I put the redstone dust down there, that's pretty much it done. I'll stick some shears into the dispenser, and yep, all I now need to do is put some walls around it and get some actual sheep in. Nice and simple. Well, now we'll just grab some wheat and we'll lure back some sheep. Well, welcome back chaps. I think I will give you some of these so that you eventually breed, because I want a lot more kids here. Thank you very much. So that's their baby now growing up, so we will hopefully just take one of them out. Is it going to be you? Okay, I'm going to lock the rest of them in there. And you are coming with me into this. And hopefully you won't put up too much of a fight. Come on in. Come on, nearly there, nearly there. Well, this sheep is now inside the pod, and hopefully it will eventually eat the grass, and then the observer will see that the grass has changed, and the dispenser will shoot out some shears, and we will get this shorn. And it just shorn the sheep there, so that's perfect, it works. Now all I have to do is actually make the hopper collection system, which looks something like that. And also I just raised this a little bit higher so I don't need to go underground for the chest. And also, these guys are back again. So for now, I'm just going to continue breeding these sheep. Then maybe build some more pods along the way. And then dye them all different colours here, so that I've got a lot of different wool colours to differentiate where I am down in the nether. So I'll see you in a bit. Well, a short bit later, that's all of the sheep shearing pods now up, and we have sheep within them all. So, I'm now going to get some dyes and we're going to colour some sheep. And these should be everything I require to make the dyes. Yep, I think that's all of them. So now, just to come around and colour them all in. Damn, that's looking pretty good actually. Well, I'll stick the redstone onto the back of these and hopefully we will start getting some sheared sheep. And we will get a lot of coloured wool. Well, I would if I put this in the right place. And we've had some of the sheep already shorn there, so I am hoping that we are going to get their coloured wool in, which, by the looks of it, yes we are. So this will be grand. I'll get enough coloured wool from these guys to make different coloured carpets, which I'll then put down inside my nether highways, and that's really going to help me differentiate just where I am within the nether. Well, on to our next redstone farms, which I'm actually thinking about taking our standard farms here and automating them. And I'll just start off with some rather basic small farms to begin with. Well, I've started off making these basic farms, and they are just exactly that. They're very basic. I think this one is for melons, and it's only going to be able to do one at a time, similar if I'm going to do pumpkins. And I've got my cacti one here as well, which is working to be fair, but realistically I'm thinking if I'm going to do this, I may as well just go bigger with this. So I'm going to scrap these and we're going to make some proper ones. And I think that's about everything that I'm going to require for this. So let's get started and make a big pumpkin farm. I'm going to have this farm a bit different and have the collection system more near the top so I don't actually need to go down for it, because I'm lazy. So we'll put down some chests and then we'll put some hoppers into it. Next I need to create a little trench along the way and then put my redstone torches down the bottom of it and then cover them up so that I never remember where that was. I have to then put down some rails for our minecarts to run over, which end up looking like this. So now we take our minecart, place it down and give them a little shove, and that's pretty much the collection system for this now complete. So now just to get the rails covered up, and we'll start putting some of the farmland on top of it. So now that we have our area that will become our farmland, we place a glowstone right in the centre just over some water, and now it's time to get out our hole and start making a checkerboard effect, and then place our pumpkins into the tilled farmland. We place a temporary roof over the farmland, and now we attach some pistons to the temporary roof. And now that the pistons are in place, we can remove the temporary roof, and we can then put our observers just above the pumpkins. Looking pretty good. So the last step is just to put some redstone dust on top of all of the observers. And that's pretty much the pumpkin farm done. I will tidy this up later. I will also go over there and remove the old pumpkins, and as you can see we've got some melons grown beside them. I will take them out as seeds and we'll build another one of these pumpkin farms except for melons right beside us. Well, that's both of the farms now up and running. We've got one for pumpkins and right beside them one for melons. And if I come into the chests, we've already been gathering some of the pumpkins out of that, and similar next door, we've got a chest with some melon slices on them already. So these are working absolutely fine, I'm happy with that. And that's this area now clear of them as well. So the next farm on the list will be sugarcane. But first I'm going to camp some slimes to make some slime blocks. I really should make a slime farm at some point, and this sugarcane farm that I'm going to build, it actually looks really awesome. The only problem is it's going to be a huge build. If I come into the chest here, you can see just some of the materials that I've already had to gather for this. But as I wait on some materials being produced for me, I'm going to start off by making a 20 by 40 hole. And yes, I just casually said make a 20 by 40 hole. I hadn't actually realised the actual scale this was going to be. This is going to be a massive project, and I'm really glad this idiot's stuck inside it. But the next step is to create another collection system, and now similar to our pumpkin farm, we need to make some trenches for our redstone. Looking good. Now just to cover them up, and I definitely know that someone's going to die, isn't that right? That's right, you're definitely going to get killed. Look, for one sub is kind, I actually let him out, but if he goes down another trench, I am going to kill him. And now it's time to have some fun with rails. Holy crap, that's a lot of rails. So next we create some platforms over the rails, and then we put our minecart hoppers on all of the rails. For God's sake. At least this next step involves covering all these exposed holes with dirt. And one covered area later, this is what we've got. So the next step is getting some water in to hydrate the fields. And let me tell you, this is not a fun task to do. But eventually, we get all of the gaps full of water, so that should now keep all of the farmland hydrated. So now, on to some redstone fun. And this is where all of our slime blocks are now going to come into play, as this little system will pass over all of the sugarcane, knocking it below into the hopper system underneath. And I believe this redstone system at the other side of the farm is supposed to stop our flying lawnmower from going anywhere past it. And I believe I've now made some form of starting circuit, so if I put this trapdoor near the observer, that should actually let it do a test run. So our flying machine is now going to go to the other end and hopefully bounce off of that and then return to us. And I'm hoping it's going to stop whenever it gets near this, and it has. Okay, grand, we've got this working. Now let's get the sugarcane actually planted. I am loving this so far. This is probably one of my favourite projects that I've done. So the final step is just to add some blocks in here, and this is going to set a clock for us, which should fire off our flying lawnmower every so often, and we're going to get sugarcane everywhere for the hoppers to collect underneath. And there's our flying lawnmower just fired off there. So we'll see how much sugarcane we get out of this. Well, I can see some sugarcane coming in this chest, and the chest beside it we've got even more. So this is going to work out really perfectly. Well, I'm really pleased with all the progress that we've made today, and I've been able to get this farm here taken down just a little bit more, and now I'm going to be able to take up the last of the sugarcane. I really like the sugarcane farm that we've just built. Just unfortunate that we can't use TNT to harvest it, like our cobblestone. Maybe next time we'll see if we can automate the rest of our farmlands here, but I'm very pleased with what we've managed to accomplish today.